Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Dana, aka Blondie Knots here on YouTube, and if you're not new here, welcome back, my friend. Today we're going to do a little bit of a pattern deep dive into my new hyperfixation, which is crochet that looks like knit. This hyperfixation came from two places. One, I started working on the Cascade cardigan by Callie's Threads. It looks like this. I am still working on it. It's currently in my whip pile, but as I started working on that, I started thinking about how as the chillier months come by, I always start to get FOMO as a crocheter because I love the way a lot of knit patterns look, and until recently, as in like this year, I did not knit. So every time this year would come around, I would just wish I knew how to knit. And even though I do knit now, I am still very new. So I wanted to find a crochet pattern that still looked knit so I could make it in half the time that it would take me to make a knit version. I also receive a lot of comments, DMs, questions from you guys on how to get started knitting, how to keep up with knitting because you get frustrated by it, or really, any of those things. So if you're in that category in any way, shape, and form, this video is for you because I am going to show you some crochet patterns that look like they're knit patterns. And that is not to say I don't love the way crochet patterns look, okay? I love the look of crocheted clothes just as much as knit. I'm just throwing this out there as a different way for you to switch up some of the textures in your wardrobe and make things look a little bit different. So it's just all for fun. I will also say I tried not to include any Tunisian crochet in this video. This should all be normal, basic stitched crochet because I didn't want you to have to pick up new tools, new techniques, new anything. This should all be stuff you pretty much know how to do. So I thought that'd be really exciting. So if that sounds good to you, let's just jump right into it. I'm going to be looking at all the patterns on my Pinterest board. So if you're interested, you want to follow me over on Pinterest. I'm also Blondie Knots over there. I am always constantly sharing new patterns I find. I put them in order of like vests, sweaters, scarves, whatever the case may be for that particular group of patterns. Also, all these patterns will be linked in the description box today. So if you find anything you like or you want to check it out, click the link. It'll take you to a Canva doc and they'll all be there in the order in which we talk about them today. So super easy for you to navigate, but without further ado, let's get right into the patterns. I just, have to get all the disclaimers out of the way. So we are going to start off by looking at some vests because this is kind of where my rabbit hole began. And the first vest I wanted to show you is this one. This is called the crocheted rib vest pattern. The reason I really liked this one and what drew me in originally, besides the color of it, of course, is this looks like it has a double knit button band on it, which I think looks so elevated, so elegant, and I was just truly obsessed with this piece. It obviously does not look crocheted. It looks very much like a knit garment, which I also am looking for in the one I want to make. I'm just wanting a really classic, like oversized grandpa style vest. So this kind of fits the bill for me. I also would love to pair this with like some really fun buttons in my stash. So this is definitely high on my makes list, but of course I wanted to share it with you because I think a lot of you might find some interest in this. So this is our very first pattern of the day, and kind of piggybacking off of that one, if you're not really a V-neck person, which sometimes I'm really not, I have this one too. And this one is also called the crocheted ribbed vest. This is the easy pullover though. So this is, as you can see, a more crew neck styled. I also really love this color. It's very, very autumn to me, and it looks so cozy, this vest. So I wanted to, of course, include this one too. It really reminds me of the first one, but like I said, just without the V-neck part. So if you want to more just like throw it on super quick, this is definitely a great one for you to choose. I love vests, but sometimes vests I feel like are a little bit more challenging to style because you have to figure out a whole outfit under the vest. So you have to find a balance between making your outfit look cute, but without taking away from the main attraction, which is the crocheted garment that you're wearing. So a lot of times I like to style vests with like button down shirts, long sleeve shirts, or turtlenecks especially, or a dress. I think any of those options look so cute. Of course, jeans looks cute too, and an oversized t-shirt, but if you wanted to try something maybe a little bit different, I would try one of those. And a lot of these pictures actually and patterns do have them styled that way, so you can kind of browse through those too and see what you like or what style you want to take these in. So that's just a little side note because I think sometimes vests can be tricky, and I think in my wardrobe that's why I don't have a lot of vests, is because of that reason. But I definitely have tried to branch out my style, and so that's kind of some of the ways I'm doing it as well. Now, I do want to switch over to two more vests that look quite similar. Again, we have a more crew neck and a V-neck version as well. I really like these like little puffy V stitches at the bottom. I'm going to show you the crew neck one first. That's the one I'm looking at on my phone right now, but this is called the Air Vest. And I don't know if it's the color or the V's, but these look like little wheat stalks or whatever you might call that. Wheat sprigs? Is it stalks? I'm not sure, but that's what this looks like to me. And I don't know, for me, that looks very cozy and very, very fall. So I really liked it. I really am unsure if it is the color that I'm drawn to or if it is the actual puffy V's that make it look like wheat. But I also really do like it in this other sample color they have. I can't tell if it's more of a navy blue or if it's more of a charcoal gray type of color, but I really like that too. I think this could be a really fun one to make for winter time, especially in like a color like red or something. I think this would be very, very stunning. I also just love that little detail at the bottom. I think it really elevates the overall vest and takes it from being like just your normal little crew neck vest to something kind of special and different. And I really enjoy that and appreciate it. So I wanted to share that one. And of course, piggybacking off of that, we have this one, which is called the Diablo vest. And this is almost just a V-neck version of it. They do kind of include those puffy V's up into the shoulder bit, which I really like that too. I like how the middle kind of has that band. I don't know, this one has a lot of fun, different play on texture, and I really, really like that about this vest. So this one is very, very appealing to me. I love the deep neckline of this, and I also love it in this like soft oatmeal slash kind of gray color. I think it's really, really pretty. This particular artist has it styled with like a long button down blouse, and I think it looks so sophisticated. And if I had like my glasses on, this and like my hair in a bun, I think that would just be such an elevated look and a little bit out of my regular comfort zone, which is always really fun too. I have nothing in my wardrobe like these two, and it's something I definitely would like to add to my wardrobe. So those two I wanted to share with you, of course. And then one of my favorite styles of vests, and something I see in the knitwear community a lot, is these beautiful side tie vests. I think these look so cute, kind of like dainty and stylish and elegant, all like jammed into one piece. So the first one I'll talk about is this one. When I saw this one, I really thought it was actually knit at first, but this is a crochet pattern, and it is just called the Crochet Ribbed Vest, tie side vest. So super straight into the point. But as you can see, a lot of these patterns are following a very similar color palette. A lot of this like oatmeal slash beige slash tan color palette. And I think that's really appealing for a vest. I'm not sure why I'm so drawn to it for a vest, but for a sweater, I'm definitely less attracted to this color. So I don't know what that says. But this is the first one of the tie side vests I wanted to show you because it's definitely a more simple looking construction, but can still be extremely elegant looking. However, this second one to me is truly show-stopping, and I think this will actually get put on my list of things I want to make. I like it so much. This is called the Crochet Vest. Anything else particular about it? No, just Crochet Vest, crochet slip over. Okay, so no other name besides that, but this reminds me certainly of a lot of knit patterns I've seen, but also of the veins in a leaf. I think this is so gorgeous and looks so like nature inspired almost. I don't know, and it definitely screams winter to me. So this one is so appealing to me. I love it in the soft gray color. I love the lighter gray beige color they have. Someone did a brown, and I especially love the folded over neckline. This is something I'm going to get into, I think, a lot more this winter in both crocheting and knitting. I love a chunky neckline, and I think it just really gives your piece a very cozy, classic look. I don't know, something about it to me looks so chic. Like I'd love to like just snuggle my neck into it and then just hang out there, you know? So of course this one needed its own special moment. For me personally, I do like the grays and stuff, but I would like to see this in like a forest green or again like a burgundy deep red color. That could be so stunning. But honestly, I think any colorway you make this in would be amazing. I would stick to, like, for me personally, a solid color for this vest because because it has so much texture and there's so much to look at already. I think if you did some type of a like very variegated yarn or a tweed, it would take away from the overall design and maybe be a little bit overwhelming to look at. So that's just something I'm thinking as I look through this pattern. And in this one photo, I don't know if this is the designer or not, but she paired it with like a matching beanie, and that is just such a slay. Like, I love the way this looks together. She looks so put together and so cool, and I would definitely think she bought this at a store or knit it herself. So really, really show-stopping piece. But anyways, I really had to give a moment to a side tie because I have just, like I said, seen them everywhere since kind of entering the knit community, and I've never given one a try. So I think to crochet one for me would be a way better and easier option. Next style of vest I want to show you, I have two more vests and then we're going to move on to some sweaters. So the next one I want to show you is this one, and this one is just called the crocheted vest pattern wool crochet vest women's. This is more of like your oversized classic, very grandpa style vest. It kind of looks a little bit like a varsity style vest because it almost seems like the designer used like a lighter yarn to kind of outline the neckline, which is a really cool take. Very like preppy school academia look. So you could make this like dark academia and do like a navy blue and maybe even like a black as your outline color, or a tan would be so cool looking with this. Now this is also straying away from that like classic rib stitch that tends to look very knitted, but something about this particular stitch, and I don't know exactly which stitch this is because I don't own this pattern, it looks like a different style of a knitted stitch. It just gives off a very unique texture. I'm really unsure of what the stitch is, but I do know that I really like it and I think it looks really cool and is matched perfectly with this pattern because this is such a simple construction and style vest, which I really like. It makes it so easy to wear, but when you add such a cool looking stitch, I think it really helps make it from like a regular basic to an elevated basic in your wardrobe. So still super easy to wear, but has a lot of character and style in it. And that's something I really like and appreciate when it comes to my crochet or knit patterns. Last one I want to show you. This one is another one of my favorites. This is called the Diamond Crochet Vest Timeless Jumper. And I think that name really is very appropriate for this vest because this does look extremely timeless to me as well. I love it in this white. It gives me like major snowflake vibes. I'm not sure why, but it really reminds me of a snowflake, or even like those paper ones you used to cut out in school. That's what I'm getting from this, and I'm not sure what it is. I kind of think it might be like that little diamond pattern in the vest that is making it look like that, but I love this. I really love and appreciate the different textures that you get from changing up the stitch so frequently. I think that's really beneficial when you're knitting or crocheting a piece that's all in the same color. When you add a different stitch variation, like every, I don't know, this looks like it could be every, let's say 10 rows, it really changes the overall look of the piece and it takes it from being really simple to looking super intricate. Also, I think it's a great hack for making something way more fun because to single crochet a vest like this would take so long for me because I do not like a very monotonous project. I like having my brain constantly on and changing up every couple rounds or so. So this would be a great one for me personally. I think it would help me work through it really, really fast, but I wanted to show you it because again, it is definitely not that classic knit looked stitch, but in a way where it still looks knit. So that was a great job on the designer. I really think that they nailed it. I don't think they were going for a knit look, but I think it still does look knit. And it looks like something you would buy at like J. Crew, Ralph Lauren, you know, something like that. So it looks really cozy and lovely and timeless, like they said. So that was my last vest of the group here. The next one I'm going to share, we're going to move into sweaters now. Like I said, this sweater is very reminiscent of that last vest I just showed you. And let me get out of this. Hold on, it brought me to an ad instead of the actual pattern. Here we go. This is called the, I'm not sure how to pronounce this, something pullover. I'll put the name on the screen here. Again, in this beautiful, more pure white color. We have some nice texture changing, but this one is a little more simplistic because you kind of use you know, one set of stitches and then you switch to another, and it's more like a block style versus that one was a rotation of, it looked like at least 5 different stitch patterns. So this one is just 2, which is very nice because it does simplify the look of it a little bit. It's a little less overwhelming, which I think is great for a sweater where you have to, you know, do sleeves and stuff, and there's a lot more just surface area of the piece in general. But this is really so cozy looking. I love it in the white. Again, really any color I think would be really stunning with this, or you could even alternate the colors. Like for instance, I'm super into stripes right now. So if you did like the horizontal rows in one color and the vertical rows in another, that could be a great way to kind of spice this piece up and do something a little bit more loud and exciting. But if you want something a little more classic and basic everyday styling, I think I would do it in all one color. But anyway, just thinking out loud, you know? So let me show you the next one I have. This was one of my favorites, and I actually ended up putting this in my fall pattern guide after the fact, but I did want to give it a moment in a video because I think it's super stunning. And talk about cozy, this looks like you're wearing a blanket. So this is called the Timber Pullover, and this looks like something that you just need to hand me like a book and a log cabin and a tea, and I'll see you next week. Like that looks like the ultimate level of cozy would be achieved if that's what you were doing. This is giving all of the cabin vibes, very much like a Pacific Northwest vibe. I feel like when I lived in Washington and I used to go thrifting all the time, I would always see sweaters that looked like this that were so cozy. For me personally, I love like either a quarter zip or a quarter button, and with this like big fold over collar. I don't prefer a hood on any of my clothing items, so just having like this big luxurious folded collar is so elegant to me, and I think really kind of ups the coziness of this piece. I love the button pairing with this, and the color is super stunning. Again, I'm not exactly sure what stitch this is. It's hard to look up close at it, but I think you would wear this for this winter and many, many winters to come. So that was a showstopper for me personally. And next I have this one, which I believe this one is actually in an alpine stitch from First Glance. So this is called the Freud, I think it's Freud sweater crochet pattern. I love the silhouette of this one specifically. That's really what drew me to it. One pattern tester did it in like this plum color, and look how stunning this color is with this stitch. I would never think to use this color yarn with a sweater like this, but this looks so good. And she has on like some maybe grayish or like off-white trousers. Just looks so good and incredibly cozy. I loved this one so much that I could not share this. Even though it's like a high neck collar, it doesn't look like it would choke you out. So if you're super sensitive to something like around your neck like that, I think this would be one that you would be able to get away with and not feel like super overstimulated by the neckline. So this was really stunning, and definitely one that will be on my list. I love a balloon sleeve, so anytime I see a balloon sleeve, I'm pretty much a sucker for it. So of course that one made it for me. Next I have this one, which I'm actually unsure if I've shared before or not, but this is called the Modern Henley Sweater Pullover. Again, we have another like quarter button, which is great. The interesting thing about this one is that your lines run horizontal for this, which I haven't seen much really at all. And I really liked that. I love a Henley just in general for the winter months. I think it automatically makes me feel cozy. So I loved that about this one. It looks like it's the perfect amount of oversized, very cabin vibes for this one as well. Perfect little like holiday time staple piece right there. So this next one I have for you is very reminiscent a little bit of the other side tie one that I said looked like it had like leaf veins in it. This one is called, let's see, there's a long title for this one, but basically it's just crochet sweater cardigan pattern PDF instead of 5 sizes. Okay, so basically just crochet sweater cardigan pattern. But anyways, what I really liked about this one is all the detailing is at the bottom there, which I thought was a really unique design choice. I love how it's just kind of subtle because it's kind of just halfway up the bodice and then it turns into that more classic ribbed stitch. So I think that's very cool because if you are a little bit overwhelmed by the vest and it being all the way up the vest, this is a great way to find like a happy medium where you have it just a little bit of fun and detailing, but still keeping the top very neutral and basic and maybe easier to wear for you. Sometimes though, I think with the vest, you can get away with having a little more detail because it's a smaller garment versus when you have a sweater, you do have to account for the fact that there's just a lot of area, and if you fill it all up all the time with all these crazy designs, you can really lose like the overall look of a piece. So that's why I really liked this one. I appreciate the design choice there. But then the next one I have is going to be this one. This one has such a cute name. It takes me a minute to get to it though, so hold on because I don't remember it off the top of my head. Oh yes, it is called the Acorn and Apricot Pullover, which honestly, the name alone, sold. Like I'll buy it just for the name at this point. I'm really bad about doing that with a lot of things when it comes to like yarn or even lip glosses, eyeshadows and things. Like if I find, paint, I'm doing a lot of home renovation stuff right now. So when I run across a paint name I like, it usually sways me in the direction of that, even if the color isn't exactly what I like. So I'm very motivated by the names of things, but this one is so cute. This is great because there's a lot of awesome inspiration in the pictures of this pattern. Seems like everybody did a different color combination and a different version, and they're all loud and exciting in their own way. A lot of stripes for this one, which is interesting because the original designer did not do stripes. So you can see it in a solid form, and also of course in all of these fun colorful ones as well. It reminds me a lot of like a 3x3 knit ribbing. I am looking actually at some details, and this one might be Tunisian crochet. So I do apologize, I didn't realize that till now. However, it does say with video tutorial for absolute beginner. So you would have to have some Tunisian crochet supplies on you, but if you do, this is a great one for you. So just throwing that out there. I don't want you to purchase a pattern and not have all the tools and materials to make it, because for me that would be devastating. The next set of patterns I want to show you, these are so interesting because I honestly personally have never seen these in crochet patterns before. And of course we all know the Fair Isle type of sweaters when it comes to knitting. I think a lot of people are motivated to learn knitting just to make these sweaters. These are so stunning, and definitely when you think of winter garments or what you see in stores, I think you see Fair Isle like literally everywhere. So I was able to put together 4 different Fair Isle looking sweaters, and I think all of these are so cool. They are all so different in their own way, and surprisingly quite a few of them look like they have video tutorials on them. So this could be something really interesting for you to give a try if it's something you've never done before and you're a little intimidated by it. It seems like a couple of them have a circle yoke, so you work it more like a very traditional knit style. And this one, which I can't tell for sure, but it does say it is a tapestry sweater. So this might be a more basic construction where you work a front panel, a back panel, and put it together, versus these other ones you will kind of crochet in a circle first, which I've never done, but I would like to try that. So if any of you have made something like this before or give this a try, let me know how it goes, because I'm very intrigued by this, and I just look at these and I cannot believe it's crochet. So I hope these will give you a little urge to try something new if that's really something you look at knitting and really wish you could knit, especially even if you do knit and you're a beginner knitter. This would be something that would be really extremely intimidating to take on in knitting. So I think doing it in crochet would be a great happy medium for you. Also in this tapestry sweater, I can see that it has that big chunky fold over neckline, and that is something I really loved about it as well. She has this styled so cute because she made hers quite oversized and long, and she has like a short skirt on with some sheer tights, and I think she nailed it. This looks so stinking cute, but all of these look really cute and elegant and intricate. So that could be a really fun one for you too. That really all just depends on what techniques you're wanting to learn and new things you're wanting to challenge yourself with within crochet. That's definitely something I have been getting into more this year, and specifically lately. I've been really challenging myself in both crocheting and knitting, and it's been so fun and honestly has been paying off. I feel really rewarded when I get through a project that I kind of was overwhelmed thinking about. So just putting it out there, it is fun to challenge yourself a little bit when you get a little, too comfortable in what you're making. It is fun to try something different. So if you are a crocheter who gets FOMO this time of year from knitters. I hope I was able to ease your FOMO a little bit and give you some fun patterns that are kind of knit hacks. And if you're going to be trying any of these, please let me know down below which ones you were interested in. I would love to hear from you guys, of course. I'm already putting together our winter pattern guide, which I cannot believe I'm saying. This year has absolutely flown by. It is so chilly here in Virginia this week. I am wearing a full sweater inside and I'm still freezing. So I can't believe we're already here, but I love putting together a winter pattern guide. So if you're interested in seeing what that's all about, make sure you subscribe if you're new here. I do post new videos every Monday, occasionally on Thursdays. I have pattern guides like this. I post crochet vlogs, starting to dabble into the knitting world, of course, and sometimes just DIYs and fun stuff to do with you guys. So if any of that sounds fun to you, I'd love to have you be a part of that and be here with me. And of course, make sure to give the video a like before you leave here today, guys. Thank you so much for joining me for this. I can't wait to hear what you're wanting to make. I can't wait to show you what I end up making in the next coming months. Until I see you again soon, take care of yourself and thank you for letting me take up a little bit of your time here on the internet today. Bye, guys.